on this show are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production of Glory 93.9 FM.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS.
Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Adair Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Wardrobe
provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com.
And welcome to this Wellness Wednesday GPS show. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. So it's Wednesday. You know what that means. We're talking health because Wednesday here on GPS is all about health and well-being. And I have to tell you that what we're going to be dealing with today is going to actually take more than one show. So I want to encourage you now to go out and get a pen and a journal or a paper or whatever, or start, pull up on your laptop or whatever, where you keep your notes. You want to take notes today because you're going to be getting a lot of information. And I have to admit, I was up until like 4 this morning, combing through this information. And I learned a lot from what I heard from the presenter that we're going to be bringing you today. And, on these Wednesday shows, you have to bear with me. There'll sometimes be a lot of clips, and that's because really the person speaking in the clips are my guests when you think about it. And the person you're going to be hearing from exclusively in this show and probably the next maybe 1 or 2 shows dealing with this subject is a gentleman by the name of Ben Fuchs. Ben Fuchs is a pharmacist. And for those of us in the 90 for Life crusade, we know Ben Fuchs very, very well because even though he is a certified pharmacist, he is very big on nutrition and the impact of nutrition on the body, so much so that he got fired from his first job as a pharmacist because, as he tells the story, he started recommending persons who came in, for specific medications. He said, well, when you take this medication, why don't you try taking a little bit of this with it? And he recommended nutrition. And then it got to the point where he was telling the patients that came in for the prescriptions, well, instead of this prescription, maybe you should try this. And it was nutrition. And so finally his bosses called him and said, I really don't think you're going to make it here. This ain't working out, because they realized that he was turning customers away from the pharmaceuticals and turning them towards nutrition. So he went out and he established his own his own pharmacy. But this is unlike any other pharmacy anywhere, because in that pharmacy, he prescribes, if you want to call it that, mostly therapeutic nutrition. And in instances where it is necessary for pharmaceuticals, then he would prescribe that. But generally speaking, he pushes nutrition. Now, I had an opportunity when I was in the other place to have Ben on my show And he was at that time talking about the triangles of disease and the square of health. And he was only on for 1 hour because Ben also hosts a radio show in the United States. And it just so happens that that show begins at 11 a.m. So back then when I was coming on at 10, he said to me, Michelle, I can give you the first hour and then I got to get out of there because I got to get to my own show. And I was like, Ben, whatever you can give me, I'll take. And just from that 1 hour, I received so much feedback from people saying, oh my God, this information. So obviously he can't be with us live because he's got his own show going on now in the United States. But I am going to be playing clips from a lecture that Ben did. Not sure where he was doing the lecture, who he was talking to, but he was lecturing students. And his lecture was called The 7 Strategies for Healthy Living. And we cannot get this all done in one show. We cannot get this all done in one show. This is how much information he brought in that hour and a half lecture. It's going to take me at least 2, maybe 3 shows to get through all of it. So I want you to take some copious notes because you're going to learn a lot today. You're going to learn a lot today. And hopefully if you apply what you learn in this show today, then you will be closer to walking in optimal health. Bottom line is this: if this show is successful, you will be able to walk away from this show with concepts and strategies that you can begin today to start to heal yourself if you're going through any kind of dis-ease. So let me just start by saying that the way, as Ben described it, I want you to imagine that your body and health and healing are a book. And in this book, there are 7 chapters. And in today's show, we're only going to be able to get to chapters 1 and 2. But throughout the next, like I said, 2, maybe 3 shows, we're going to get through all 7 chapters of this book of the healing of your body. And so we have to begin with the understanding that your body is a healing and rejuvenation system. Your body is a healing machine that is designed to heal itself every moment of every day. And if you don't believe me, I want you to just think about what happens if you get a cut. Let's say you get a cut on your hand. You're cutting up some chicken and you accidentally slice your hand. Immediately when that happens, as Ben puts it, a mini miracle occurs. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. You don't have to start thinking about the process that it's going to take to heal that cut. You don't have to say, okay, we have to now concentrate to get this cut to heal. No, your body instinctively knows what to do to get that cut to heal. So the minute you get that cut on your hand, certain cells start making their way to that area and start pumping out little collagen fibers to try to add elastic fibers to create a scab to begin the healing process. The white blood cells, they rush to the area to fight infection. And you didn't have to think about any of this. You didn't have to sit down and map out a plan as to how you're going to get that finger to heal. Your body instinctively knows what to do to heal itself. And the same thing applies whether it's a small cut on your finger or a non-communicable chronic disease. Same thing applies. Your body knows how to heal itself. We have to lay that foundation. That is very important to this discussion for you to understand that your body knows what to do to heal itself. Because your body is a rejuvenating, healing machine. It's a system that heals itself until the day you die. Now, even on your deathbed, your body is fighting to heal itself. The cells in your body are working to heal yourself even up to the point of death. In fact, and I learned this from watching this lecture, even after you die, your fingernails continue to grow. I never knew that. according to Ben, if you check with people who do, who embalm bodies and stuff, many times they have to cut the fingernails because the fingernails keep growing after the person dies. So your body is this incredible rejuvenating machine. It was designed to heal and rejuvenate itself. And really, sickness should not happen, but it does. Why? Sickness happens when we override the healing systems of the body. That's when sickness and disease happen, when we override the healing systems of the body. So the goal of the show is to help you to understand how to integrate very simple concepts that will hopefully make so much common sense that you may leave here wondering how we ever lived without this common sense knowledge, right? Because it's very simple concepts to follow, very simple concepts. We're going to make health simple. And we have to begin to take advantage of the healing and rejuvenating system that is our bodies. Oftentimes, the first thing we do when we get sick is we run to the pharmaceutical, and instead of helping the body to regenerate, that actually blocks the body's functions. So we're doing this thing backwards, because what we should be doing is supporting our body's ability to regenerate itself as opposed to blocking its ability to regenerate itself. So I want you to picture the subject of nutrition and your health and healing in your body as a book with 7 chapters. These are the 7 chapters: proteins, fats, carbohydrates, fiber, water, vitamins, and minerals. Those are the 7 chapters of the book that we are going to be studying for the next 1 or 2 shows or 3 shows maybe. And these are the 7 chapters that all you need to know as it relates to health and nutrition. So the very first chapter we're going to tackle is the chapter of protein. Protein is very, 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 very important to your overall health and well-being. And if you're not getting sufficient protein in your diet, then you are going to start to develop some serious problems. So let's go to clip number 1. This is pharmacist Ben Fuchs talking about the importance of protein to your body.
Protein comes from the Greek word proteus. It means of primary importance, the most important. And there's a very good reason for that, because you see, after water, your body is composed mostly of protein. Now, we all know about protein for building muscles. If you're weightlifting or if you're an athlete, we all know that you need to have protein. But protein has got many, many other roles in the body. Did you know your digestion is dependent on protein because your digestive enzymes are made of protein? Did you know your immune system is based on protein because all your antibodies come from protein? Your hormone system is largely based on protein because your hormones, to a large extent, are made out of protein. Protein is involved in shuttling systems throughout the body. You guys have heard of HDL and LDL, no doubt. HDL cholesterol and LDL, what does that stand for? High density lipoprotein. Low density lipoprotein, because you see, protein carries fat around through the body. Protein is also involved in making sure that your blood-water balance is appropriate. So if your blood pressure is off, it could be because you don't have enough or you're getting too much protein. Protein is also involved in making sure that material makes it into the cells. Your cell is like a circle. You could picture a circle, and on that circle are little doorways. And those doorways admit nutrients in. And guess what those doorways are made of? Protein. So you can see that protein has many, many other roles in the body than just building up muscle and building up tissue. It's involved in almost every single system that you could think about in the body, and deficiencies in protein will manifest as all the health issues you can think of. So now that we know how important protein is, how do we integrate it into our life? The way we measure how important a protein is by something called biological value. We'll abbreviate that as BV, biological value. Highest biological value proteins are going to be the proteins that the body can work with the best. Because in nutrition, it's not merely how valuable a nutrient is, it's how well your body can work with it, how well your body can assimilate it. And biological value is a measurement of how well your body can assimilate certain proteins. The measurement of biological value is on a scale of 0 to 100, where 100 is the gold standard of biological value. 100 is a perfect biological value protein. You can think of it like 100% of that protein is utilized.
Okay, so you get it, hopefully, that protein is extremely important to your health. Okay? You have to understand that you cannot experience optimal health if you have low levels of protein or low quality protein, because there is a difference. Not all proteins are created equal. And you have to understand what are the best sources of protein. So you heard him talk about the 100. There is a food that is considered the perfect food because of that 100 level that he spoke about. And it's interesting because some time ago, this food was being demonized. They would have had you believe that you should not eat this food because it was going to raise cholesterol levels. And since then, that belief has been debunked, but not before they demonized this food. And it is really considered to be the perfect source of protein. So in this next clip, Ben is going to be talking about what are your best sources of protein, because you have to understand that not all sources of protein are created equal. So let's go to clip number 2, please. Is it ready? How are we looking with the clip, Marisha? Clip number 2, please.
Egg protein is the gold standard of protein. And nobody in this room should believe that silliness about eggs having cholesterol and you shouldn't eat eggs. Everybody needs to eat eggs. Eggs are not only the perfect protein, in general, they're the perfect food. And to deprive yourselves of eggs is to deprive yourself of a powerful, powerful God-given food. Because not only are eggs rich in protein, but they're rich in beta-carotene, and they're rich in essential fatty acids, and they're rich in magnesium, and they're rich in zinc, and they're rich in everything that's required to build a life. Because what is an egg? It's a life. An egg is rich in everything that's required to build a life, and they're a vital, vital component of dietary good health. But in terms of biological value of protein, egg protein is the perfect assimilatable protein. And by the way, when you're eating eggs, you want the yolk and the white. You want the whole picture. And most of the good stuff is actually in the yolk, but the protein is in the white portion. And egg protein is perfectly assimilatable by the body. Egg has about 7 grams of protein, and it gets a 100 on a scale of 0 to 100. It's the gold standard of protein. But there's one protein that's even better than egg protein. If egg protein is a 100, this special protein is actually a 120. It's actually 20% better than the gold standard of protein. Whey protein is the protein of choice for people who are serious about their protein needs. Football players, weightlifters, athletes of all type. If you are serious about your protein needs, you know about whey protein. If an athlete is doing something, folks, we want to start to pay attention. If an athlete is doing something for their health, we as average folks want to start to pay attention because we're all athletes. Just getting out of bed in the morning is an athletic event. Just getting through our day requires athleticism. If an athlete is doing something nutritionally, we want to start to pay attention to it. And by far and away, whey protein is the protein of choice for athletes and bodybuilders and football players and baseball players and people who need to have muscle mass and people who need to be healthy. And there's several reasons for that. Number one, whey protein is even more available to the body than eggs. In fact, whey protein is the most perfect food and the most perfectly absorbed food next to mother's milk. Only mother's milk is better for you than whey protein. Whey, just so you know where it comes from, is a derivative of the cheese manufacturing process. Milk, as it turns out, cow's milk, is not a great health food. In fact, milk does not do a body good. Milk is not a health food. Human beings are the only animals that drink another animal's milk. You see, milk contains components to build an animal of that type. And cow's milk contains the perfect components to build a cow. So unless you want to be a cow, you don't want to be drinking cow's milk. So in cheese making, you take milk, and what happens when you make the cheese is the milk is divided into two fractions. The bottom fraction is called casein. The top fraction is called whey. Casein has a curdy nature, and it's used to make cheese. In fact, casein is one of the main reasons milk is not a health food, because casein has a gummy sort of nature. Do you ever see a mozzarella cheese? You know how you pull that mozzarella cheese? That's the casein that causes that gumminess, that causes that rubberiness. And that casein is very allergenic, and it accounts for much of the allergies that are associated with milk. Not only that, but the casein can gum up your intestines, and it can prevent nutrients from getting into the system. Many people, after they drink milk, will get mucousy. Some people won't even notice that they're mucousy all the time because they're drinking milk. A lot of times you'll see kids who are mucousy. It's because they're drinking cow's milk, and this is in large part due to the casein. So the casein has a curdy nature to it, has a gummy nature to it. At the top, the liquidy portion is whey. And that liquidy portion has none of the downside of milk because all of the downside of milk is located in the casein, in the curds. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. That's where we get that rhyme from, curds and whey. So when we get rid of the curds from the milk, all that's left behind is the whey. In fact, if you go to the health food store, you can get something called sweet dairy whey. And sweet dairy whey is very powerful for several reasons. Sweet dairy whey is a rich source of food for your natural bacteria. Sweet dairy whey is also a powerful source of protein.
So if anybody knows where I can find some sweet dairy whey, please let me know here on the island because I need some. Yeah, I need some sweet dairy whey because, you know, I told you all how I just discovered gluten-free cereals the other day. And so I've been going to town eating cereal, right? But I've been using milk, and I know, you know, well, it's not the greatest thing in the world. So now, after listening to this, and also, by the way, he did hit on the cereal later on, and I was like, shucks. But yeah, I need to find me some sweet dairy whey. Now, I don't know if any of you know any health food store here in the Bahamas that sells that. If you do, please let me know, because I need to go get me some of that. Because every now and again, I still can eat my cereal. Not a lot, not as much as I've been eating, because, you know, I guess because, you know, I haven't had it for so long that, but I found gluten-free cereal. I just like went crazy on it. But as you will learn a little later on, not necessarily in this show, but in this series, that eating all those processed carbs is not necessarily a good thing. But I need to find me some sweet dairy whey. So if anybody knows where I can find that, please let me know. But speaking about eggs, seriously, eggs are just so important, especially to brain health. One of the things that Dr. Joel Wallach always recommends when somebody has dementia, one of the first things he says, especially if they have been taking a statin drug to lower cholesterol, one of the first thing that he says is that you need to get eggs in the person's diet to help to rebuild their brain. So, you know, it's been demonized, but it's not a bad thing. But my friend Rafa from Boston is saying, get rid of, let's see, Rafa says, get rid of animal-based milk, replace it with plant-based milk instead, like almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk, hemp milk, or soy milk. Well, I don't want to do soy or oat, Rafa, because oats has gluten. Soy is bad unless it's heirloom organic soy. It's been genetically modified and it's been sprayed with Roundup. But I will certainly look for the other sources of milk. But I got to find something because I know I'm not supposed to be drinking cow milk. I know that. But yeah, I you know, eggs have been demonized, and I know some people are vegan or vegetarian and you're not going to eat eggs, and that's fine. It's not the only source of protein, but it is a very, very good source of protein. And so, like I said, usually Dr. Wallach recommends to people who have dementia, He says, get them on 8 to 12 eggs a day. And you're like, what? Yeah, because we need to rebuild what has degenerated in the brain. And eggs is one of the best ways to do that. And I have seen that with some of my own clients. I have a client who reached out to me whose mother was having cognitive issues. I don't know if she had been on a statin drug. I can't remember. But before we even got her on the nutritional supplements, I said to her, you have to increase the eggs. And I told him what to do. I said, mix them up in her smoothie. And he reached out to me a couple of weeks later and he says, Ms. Malcolm, my mother's now having conversations again. I can't believe it. Just from the eggs. This was even before his nutrition had arrived. So the bottom line is this. Protein is extremely important to your health. Extremely important. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, you may say, I don't want to go through animal sources to get my protein, so you can get your protein from other sources as well. But whatever you do, get sufficient protein in your diet because it is vital to your health. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to be looking at a component of proteins called branched chain amino acids and how important they are to achieving optimal health. Stay with us. This is a Wellness Wednesday on GPS on Glory 93.9 FM.
Glory 93.9 FM, the people's favorite gospel station.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want. Ocean blue got it. Ocean blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too. Hey. Ocean blue seafood, we are here for you. Ocean blue seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Bernard Road. Contact us at 393-216.
Boy, here calamity. Boy, don't want that be me. Let me get this coverage, do it once and for all. Insurance management is who I gonna call.
When calamity strikes, we're here to keep you safe and secure. With offices in Nassau, Freeport, Abacoy, Lutheran, and Exuma. Insurance management, we cover the Bahamas.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Youngevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS is Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. It's a Wellness Wednesday. And we are talking today and probably for the next several shows about 7 strategies for healthy living. So consider this to be part 1 in a series of shows on the strategies for a healthy living. And we have decided to treat this as a book of 7 chapters. And our first chapter is on protein. And so we're smack in the middle of discussing the importance of protein. Let me go to a couple of your comments from our Facebook stream. Let's see here. So Perline says, I must say, whatever you are doing, keep it up. You look amazing, young, not saying that you are old. However, your skin is amazingly beautiful. Just a compliment. Thank you so much, Perline. A lot of it has to do, obviously, with nutrition. Your body is a rejuvenating machine. So if you take care of your body, if you nutrify your body will stay young. I'm telling you, when you see somebody who is old and broken down and tired, you know what that is? Neglect. That is what it is. It's neglect. And I'm not saying, yes, we all age. Aging is a part of life. But how you age, you don't have to be broken down and tired. I mean, I've come across multiple videos of people who are into fitness and health and eating well. And these people are in their 60s and 70s and they look like they're in their 30s, 40s. No joke. So your body is an incredible, rejuvenating, healing system. And as long as we don't override that system, and as long as we give our bodies the building blocks that they need to function well, they will function well. I'm telling you. Okay, so Bertha says, wow, this is powerful. I'm taking notes. Take plenty notes, child, because there's more information coming up that is going to blow you away. I tell you, I was up till 4 o'clock this morning. I woke up this morning with these little bags and stuff, and I was like, oh, they're going to see I didn't get enough sleep last night. But yeah, it's really fascinating information. So you heard in the earlier clip, the pharmacists talk about whey protein. And there is a reason that whey protein is so important for your body. And that is because not only is it bioavailable, in other words, your body can assimilate it easy. So it's I always say it's not about what you take in, it's about what you can absorb. It's about what your body can break down. So not only is it bioavailable, but it is rich in factors that the mother passes on to the baby to help the baby calf's immune system. It's called immune globulins. I hope I pronounced that right. And your body will be able to assimilate this on its own. So not only do you get perfectly bioavailable protein when you consume whey protein, but you get immune globulins that will help build your immunity. Now, we all know what's going on around the world right now. I don't have to spell it out. Good functioning immune system is key right now to maintaining good health and keeping COVID at bay. I was a part of my church last night, did a sort of open discussion about the pros and cons of the vaccine. And one of the things that I said was, I don't understand why it is that we are not seeing scientific studies done on healthy people who have been able to beat COVID or not get it altogether. Why aren't we studying them to figure out what their body is doing right and try to replicate that? And that's a part of the problem that I have with this whole debate about the vaccine and all this kind of stuff, because it's a one-sided debate. Because they would have you believe that your immune system is not strong enough to handle this. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Now, if your immune system is compromised, then you have a problem. So to me, I would think that the whole discussion should be, how do we get your immune system healthy? As opposed to take this vaccine because this is the Hail Mary full of grace miracle. No. Your vaccine, that vaccine still needs your immune system to be functioning in order for it to work. So building a healthy immune system is key, not just for COVID-19, but any non-communicable chronic disease. You have to have a healthy, functioning immune system. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. Morning.
Hello. Good morning.
I have a brief question for you and a comment. Is raw eggs good to drink?
Well, you got to be careful because you don't want to get salmonella poisoning. But
Okay,
I know a lot
yeah,
of athletes just, people just break the raw egg, mix it up in their smoothie and drink it like that. Just know
Right.
that when you do that, you are taking some risks.
Okay. Okay.
I think the safer.
Let me, pardon, sorry.
Go ahead.
I heard you made a statement, and I just want you to be knowledgeable of a point, okay? As relates to certain cuts and certain injuries, okay? You are aware, and I'm happy to hear you're going to have another 6 of these shows, counting this one. Another 6 other shows other than this one.
I don't know if it'll be 6 shows, but it'll be 6 chapters. We may
well,
cover
yeah,
like
well,
one or
you know,
two in one.
okay,
one
exactly,
show. Yeah.
exactly. You are aware, Michelle, and I'm asking Father Yahweh, Elohim, Holy Spirit now to go before me and any words come out of my mouth on your show. And I'm not here to disrespect your show or anyone else. So don't be concerned. The mucosa is the inner lining of the colon and or the rectum. The mucosa is made up of a thin layer of what is called epithelial cells. Okay? These cells are called the epithelium when you combine in this layer of connective tissues. This layer of connective tissues are then called the lamina propria. I'm getting my words tied tongue now. I don't know what's going on. I'm a person who could talk. But I need the world system, the World Health Organization, to hear this point. The little boys and girls, okay, who in a lining of their rectum or colon was damaged because of rape and sexual molestation, that doctors around the world have said out of every 250 people, one person is infected.
Amos, get to your point, please, because you're taking up valuable time.
I'm not going to take up no more time online, but the point I'm making here, Michelle, is these injuries cannot be healed just by nutrition. They have to be medically healed. That lining, those lining of these people who are men and women must be medically, surgically healed, okay? And then the proper nutrition must be given. And with all of these different comorbidities that the media, the fourth estate, the fifth power, okay, are aware of, they are not talking about it. And so when I say I like your show, but I'm coming with your show with the truth. You say the truth have a new home. And if the truth have a new home, give people who willing to speak, and I could count them on one hand, who can speak like what Amos just brought to your show on the face of the earth on one hand. So listen, the paradigm shift.
Amos, wrap it up or I can cut you.
Okay, so wrapping up, I'm so sorry for taking up so much time. So wrapping up, please do a little research on that regard for the people who listen and too ashamed to speak about that type of comorbidities.
Okay.
That's the point.
Thank you. Oh my God. Okay. I'm not even going to go down that road, okay? Because I don't want to lose focus of where we're supposed to be going today. Know that your body has the ability to rejuvenate every body a body. But when there is trauma, then clearly sometimes there has to be intervention in terms of surgery. If you get, I say it all the time, if you are in a car accident, that's trauma. And this is what doctors are very good at, trauma. So you drinking some vitamins at the time you get into that car accident ain't gonna help you at that point. You need surgery. So let's not lose focus here. I appreciate your support, Amos, and calling in, but sometimes you just run on with something, you know, and you eating up good time. And we got plenty of information to get to today, okay? All right. So let's get back on focus, please. So whey is a food that you can eat that will actually support your body's immune system. I said that before we got the call. So whey protein is a source of a natural antibiotic called lactoferrin. And lactoferrin helps your body to fight diseases better. So even though that is good news, there's even more good news as it relates to whey protein. But protein, you have to understand, is made up of amino acids. And among the most important amino acids are something called branched chain amino acids. Branched chain amino acids. And these are the most important amino acids for building muscles and tissue. And whey protein is nature's richest source of branched chain amino acids. So every time you get a dose of whey protein, and this is why if y'all know where I can find some, please let me know so I can go get some. You are getting almost 25% of branched chain amino acids. So here is, again, pharmacist Ben Fuchs talking about the branched chain amino acids. That's clip number 3.
Valine, leucine, isoleucine, and a magical amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan is a magical amino acid because of its many, many vital roles in the body. Not only is it a critical amino acid for building muscle and building tissue, but tryptophan is nature's sleepy time amino acid. Milk is rich in tryptophan. That's why mothers know to give warm milk to babies. Tryptophan also helps your body make happy hormones, hormones that go into your brain and make you feel happy. So you think tryptophan is a vital nutrient. You think you should be able to get tryptophan. Well, you know what? Tryptophan is illegal. You can't get tryptophan at the health food store. Tryptophan is illegal. You have to get a prescription for this very, very vital substance because the government, and we won't get into that now, has decided that you shouldn't have tryptophan, as vital as this is. Tryptophan is so vital that the government makes baby food manufacturers put it in the baby food. But after you're a baby, you can't have tryptophan unless you have a prescription from your doctor. Well, I'm here to tell you whey protein is a rich, natural source of tryptophan, one of the best. So you've got branched chain amino acids, you've got immune factors, you've got incredible bioavailability, and you've got good taste as well because whey protein tastes good. Tastes kind of milky. Just add water to it and you drink it.
Yeah, Michelle needs to go look for some whey protein, y'all. So if you know where to find it, let me know. I want to try it, see how good it is. Okay, so we understand now how important whey protein and eggs are as it relates to getting good quality protein in your body. And there are other sources as well. For those of you who don't eat animal products like my friend Rafa in Boston, I'm not saying that this is the only source of protein, but I'm talking about, you know, these are very, very good sources of protein that will help to build up your immune system because your immune system is mostly protein. Now, I can hear some of y'all meat lovers out there right now. Yeah, Michelle, you're talking my language because I eat a burger every day. Not so fast because not all proteins are created equal. And you have to ask the question, where does meat fit into all of this? Well, yeah, if you're eating a burger every day, I'm sorry, but no, that's not going to cut it. Or if you're eating steak all the time, I'm sorry, but no, because not only is cooked meat low on the scale of bioavailability, but meat protein contains, generally speaking, nowadays, hormones, antibiotics, and all the toxic stuff that were fed to the cattle to make it fat, such as estrogens, so that it will look good in the butcher's counter when you go to the food store. So meat protein can be problematic. It's not really considered a healthy food because of all of the stuff that's been done to it in the process of getting it to your table. Now, you may say, rightly so, Michelle, we have been programmed to be meat eaters. The cavemen had to go out and actually, hunt meat to eat, and they were fine. And you'd be right to a certain degree. But you see, the big difference between our ancestors and us is back then, they had to go hunt for that meat. So as Ben will explain in this next clip, there was some energy put into going to find that meat, and it was clean, lean meat. It was not injected with all kind of estrogen and growth hormones and antibiotics and all this kind of stuff. So it was good, lean, clean meat. And they had to actually exert energy to go get that meat. For us, our hunting today, for many of us, the energy that we have to exert is to pull up on the line and press the button for our window to come down and say, give me one number 2, please. That's the extent of the energy that you have to go through now to get the sources of meat that you're eating. So let me just let Ben explain this better in clip number 4.
Our caveman ancestors, we ate meat, but the way we ate meat was we stalked the meat. The animals were eating grass. Grass is a rich source of nutrients. Grass-fed animals have a rich source of nutrients, essential fatty acids, minerals. When you stalk an antelope, you have to hunt it, you have to work for it, and the antelope is eating wild grass. It's healthy. It doesn't have any hormones. So meat in general is a good food, but it's the cooking and it's the processing of meat, and it's the farming of meat that is so problematic. The way we farm meat is we increase the animal's fat content so we can have nice marbled meat. This is why meat is so unhealthy. It's not meat per se, it's how we process the meat and how we eat the meat, how we cook the meat that makes it so problematic. So by far and away, most of our protein for adequate protein requirements should come from whey and should come from eggs, and to a lesser extent from fish and from beans. First, you want whey and eggs, then fish and beans. Last on the list is cooked meat. In fact, cooked meat has a bioavailability around 30 or 40 compared to 100 and 120.
Okay, so if you are going to be eating meat, remember we always talk about this, that it should never, red meat especially, it should never be well done because it is extremely difficult for your body to break that down once it's well done. It should always be rare or medium rare if you're going to eat red meat. And processed meats, forget about it, because the processed meats has all of that toxic stuff that he's been talking about, the nitrates and the nitrites and all the other, the estrogen and the hormone and this and the next that they pump up in these things. And then when you eat it, then you have a problem. And we wonder why we see little 9-year-old girls now developing breasts and going through puberty at 9 because the foods that we're consuming are so pumped up with estrogen and so much other garbage. And it doesn't just magically disappear. Once you consume that food, you are consuming all of that stuff. And so I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unless you are eating, organic meats that cost a hell of a lot more than the other stuff that's in the food store, then you are probably eating a lot of stuff that you don't want to be consuming through that meat. So you want to minimize, cut back on the amount of meat that you eat because it's not very easy for your body to break that down. And on top of that, because of our modern farming techniques and processes, that's loaded with all kind of stuff that you don't want to get into your body. It's not good for you. So, yeah, we have to understand that not all proteins are created equal. Burgers are a big no. And we're going to explain in a short while why burgers are a big no. And it has to do with the combinations of food. You would have heard me talk about the time when I went through the problem of having acid reflux many years ago before I discovered, before I began my journey, of being a health coach and before I discovered the 90 for Life program through Longevity. And I developed acid reflux. And I was having these pains in my chest. And first I thought it was a heart problem. And eventually I went to the doctor, and the doctor does all these tests. And she comes back and she says, you have acid reflux. And then she says to me, I want to put you on Nexium. Well, don't even get me started on that, because now Nexium is under the gun, people suing, because now Nexium has been proven to cause, I think, 9 different forms of cancer. So thank God I made the decision that I wasn't staying on no Nexium. I took it for 3 days to get some relief. And then I decided to go figure out how to make my body more alkaline, because I figured that if your body is this acidic, that is causing you to have pain in your chest, this is a wake-up call. And I did my research on how to become more alkaline. And a lot of it, what I found, had to do with the combinations of food. So we are going to talk about that, because you need to understand what happens to your digestive system when you eat the wrong combinations of food. So before we go into that, I don't want to get into that before the break, because I want to talk about that a little bit more extensively, and we only have 4 minutes before the next break. So let me read a couple of your comments in the meantime. Bertha says, Michelle, that's how the doctors make their money, writing prescriptions. You go to the doctor for the flu, they give you like 4 prescription medications. Ah, boy. Yeah, we just have to educate ourselves, people. Okay, so Claudette says, go straight vegan. That's the best way. Get rid of all the toxins by eliminating all animal and dairy products. Just love yourself, people. No one will love you like you. I think that's a choice whether or not you want to go vegan, because if you do go vegan, you better be supplementing, because you definitely will not be getting all of the nutrition you need through foods alone. And so that's your choice. Many people who are vegan still have health problems, and that's because they're not nutrifying their bodies. So I don't want you to think that going vegan is the only thing you need to do. But you have to supplement, because your body is not going to get all of the nutrients that you need from food alone, especially if you go vegan. So you need to make sure you're supplementing. Otherwise, you could still end up getting sick, even though you're eating vegan. Okay. Let's see who else says something here. So Deborah says she gets her whey protein from Costco. That's nice, Deborah, but I ain't got no Costco in the Bahamas unless I order it online, I guess. Claudette says, check Essential Alkaline for whey protein. Okay, that's close to me. I can check them out. Marissa is recommending Fitness Connection has whey protein in the Sea Grapes Plaza and Blake Road. Okay, thanks, guys, for the heads up. I now know where I can go to get me some whey protein, some sweet, what do you call it? Sweet milk whey protein, sweet whey protein, sweet dairy whey protein. That's what I'm looking for. Sweet dairy whey protein. That is what I'm looking for. I want to try that because I'm going to cut back on eating the cereal, y'all. I must admit I went kind of crazy because it had been such a long time since I had cereal. And I was like, I can eat cereal again, yay! And I went nuts. I ain't gonna lie, I went nuts. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I learned through this lecture that is not necessarily a good thing. And so I'm definitely going to cut back on the amount of cereal that I've been eating as of late, but I want to find a better source to eat with the cereal. And it sounds like whey protein could be the answer. So I am going to definitely check that out. Thank you guys for the recommendations as to where I can find some. Okay, so what we're going to do now. So one more question. Bertha says, what is good to eat and how to prepare? Okay, I eat mostly poultry and seafood. Very rarely do I eat red meat. I'm not saying I don't ever eat it, but when I purchase food, I purchase basically chicken, fish. Every now and again, I'll go get me one Scotch conch. I know that's not great. Not the greatest source of protein, but it has, anyway, it is what it is. I just want you to know I ain't perfect and I ain't trying to put myself out to be perfect. I eat stuff that I know is not necessarily very good. But pork is not great, only because pork, Christoph is asking about pork, because pork a lot of times has a lot of, what do you call it in them? Parasites. And heat does not kill those parasites. They don't die very easily. So when you consume pork, even well-cooked pork, you are consuming parasites. And so you're taking a little chance there, because that's how many times we introduce parasites into our bodies. Now, there are some things that can naturally kill parasites. You know what is a good thing to kill parasites? Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds kill parasites. Kill them dead in their tracks. So it's good to ingest pumpkin seeds if you're going to eat something like pork. But pork is not a great source of protein because of the fact that it is usually loaded with parasites. That from a girl who eats pig feet. Go figure. We got to take a break, y'all. When we come back, we're going to be looking at food combinations and digestive enzymes, how that works, because you have to understand what you may be doing wrong that's contributing to some of the problems you're having. So stay with us. This is GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM.
Red dress, hats off, looking like I walked out of catalog. Everybody wanna know where I got it from. Catwalk, 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 boutique, where we make fashion statements. Catwalk, boutique, where we make fashion statements.
For the latest styles in women's clothing and accessories, visit Catwalk Boutique on Robinson Road East at the Heron Plaza. At Catwalk Boutique, we make fashion statements.
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA-focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. It's a Wellness Wednesday, and we are talking about 7 strategies for healthy living. This is part 1 of a series of shows because we're still on chapter 1, people. It's already 12 o'clock, and we're still on chapter 1 talking about protein and the importance of protein to the body. And so I want to talk now about the combinations of foods. Because as I started to say prior to the break, when I was diagnosed with acid reflux and I did my own research of how to heal it naturally, I realized that there was a problem with the combination of foods that I was eating. And it's a typical problem here in the Bahamas. We believe a typical Bahamian meal, for those of you watching from outside the Bahamas who don't know, typical Bahamian meal is you got your meat, then you got your peas and rice, and you got your coleslaw and your macaroni and maybe a little piece of potato salad and some plantain on the side. So on this one plate, you've got both protein and carbs. Now, typically speaking, after we eat this meal, we get what we call, I'm abbreviating it, the ritis. I won't say what we call it, right? All of a sudden you're sleepy. You can't keep your eyes open after you eat that typical Bahamian meal. Why? It's because your body has to work so hard to digest that food because of the combination of foods that you're eating that it will literally put you to sleep so that it can use all of its energy to try to digest that food. Here is pharmacist Ben Fuchs explaining the role of digestive enzymes and food combinations.
The worst thing you can do is take an antacid after you've eaten protein. It's incredibly counterproductive because you've deprived the body of its ability to digest the protein. Achlorhydria is the technical name for low stomach acid. And achlorhydria, low stomach acid, is just as significant a problem, if not more of a problem, than too much stomach acid. So if you're going to take your antacids, you don't want to take them after you've eaten a high protein meal. You'll deprive your body of its ability to digest the protein. Now, carbohydrates, by the way, require alkaline enzymes to be digested, while proteins require acid enzymes to be digested. That's why you don't want to mix carbohydrates with protein. That's why sandwiches are among the worst foods that you can eat. How do you like that? I don't want you just to take my word for it. I want you to understand how that works. A sandwich is made of bread, which requires alkaline enzymes, and protein, which requires acid enzymes. Potatoes and eggs are the same way. Any carbohydrate is going to be counteracted by the enzymes that are required to digest the protein, and neither will get digested appropriately. So one of the most important strategies that we can incorporate into our lives for good health is to watch how we're combining our different types of food. Digestive enzymes are very helpful for people who have problems eating protein. Now, sometimes people will hear about protein and they'll start to up their levels of protein and they'll get gas. That's because they're not making enough stomach acid or digestive enzymes to digest the protein. The answer there is to increase the amount of stomach acid, and there's supplements that you can take to increase stomach acid. The most important one is called betaine hydrochloride. Apple cider vinegar is a way that you can increase your stomach acid as well. Then there's digestive enzymes that you can take when you increase your protein load. By the way, digestive enzymes, not only do they digest protein from food, but digestive enzymes will actually digest clots that can form arthritis. They can digest clots that can form atherosclerosis as well. Digestive enzymes can be an overall health tool. And guess what digestive enzymes are made out of? Protein. So you can see how vitally important protein is, and you can see how much more than building tissue is involved in protein.
Okay, did you understand what he said just now in terms of the combinations? I always tell people this, that when you're trying to lose weight especially, and I discovered this by accident because when I had the acid reflux, I said, okay, Michelle, you got to figure out how to heal this naturally because I ain't going to be taking no Nexium. I read the side effects and I said, how about no? So I figured I got to figure out how to heal myself naturally. And I Googled how to become alkaline. And that's when I discovered about the combination of foods. that you should never eat carbs in the same meal as protein. So typical Bahamian meal is definitely a no-no because you got a plate full of carbs and then you throw the meat on that. And now you've got a problem because the alkaline enzymes are canceling out the effectiveness of the acid enzymes and vice versa. And this is why your body has such a hard time digesting that food and puts you to sleep because all of its energy has to go into digesting that food. Well, when I made that change, when I started eating, and here's what you may say, well, Mish, how do I do that? Okay, let me explain. So if you're going to eat meat or protein, just eat it with a salad. Eat it with some vegetables, not starchy vegetables, not potatoes, but eat it with a salad or some other greens or some, non-starchy vegetables. And you would be surprised at how much energy you will have after that meal. You won't get sluggish. You won't get sleepy. You won't get tired. You'll still have lots of energy and it will pass through your system a whole lot easier. Now, does that say you can't eat carbs? No. You can eat carbs. I mean, if you're on the keto diet, then that's, carbs are demonized of the keto diet. But if you're not doing the keto diet and you eat carbs, just don't eat it with protein. Healthy carbs, yes. Okay. But if you're going to eat carbs, if you're going to eat that baked potato, just don't eat it with protein. Eat it with a salad. So if you space out your meals, so let's say in the morning you decide to have protein, because I have to admit that I changed my breakfast plan for this morning after listening to this lecture, because one of the things he talked about is how you should start your day with protein. So I was like, okay, stop eating the cereal for breakfast, Michelle. You're running out now. Stop. So I instead had protein for breakfast. And one of the things that he talks about is that when you have protein for breakfast, you don't get so hungry through the rest of the day and you start making bad decisions because you're so hungry. Because imagine your body is like a computer that is constantly scanning for the nutrients it needs. And so when it scans and it doesn't see the nutrients that it needs to do its job, it sends you to go find something to eat. And when you eat poorly, your stomach is full, but your body's scanning and saying, nope, that didn't do it. Go find something else. And so you get hungry again. But the point is that when you eat, they call it eating clean. When you eat just the protein and a salad or protein and maybe lightly sauteed veggies or raw veggies or whatever you want to do, it is so much easier for your body to digest that food. So you're not depriving yourself. You're just not putting them in the same combination in a meal. It's as simple as that. And when I started doing that, not thinking about weight loss, I was just thinking about healing that acid problem I had. When I started doing that, this was back years ago when I was working at Kalina. And it's kind of funny because at that time, all of the ladies in Kalina, they decided that they were going to start this exercise program. And so at the end of the day, they would all get together and exercise, there on the property. And I decided to join that because at that time I was a bit overweight. I decided to join the exercise thing. And then while spring cleaning my house one day, I got a really nasty cut on my leg and had to get stitches to repair it. And the doctor said, no, you can't be jumping up and down on this leg. You have to give this leg time to heal. So I had to stop doing the exercise. Now, this was around the same time that I had the problem with the acid reflux. So I go to the doctor. She tells me to take Nexium. I take it for 3 days. And after that, I said, no way, I'm going to heal this naturally. I Google how to become more alkaline. I discovered the thing about the combination of foods. So I started not combining in the same meal protein and carbs to get rid of the acid reflux. That was my goal. So the acid reflux goes away. I was healed of the acid reflux, but then I noticed I'm losing weight. And I was like, I wonder if this has anything to do with this. and so I Google, because, you can find anything on Google. And sure enough, losing weight was a side effect of changing the combinations of food I was eating. And I was like, well, blow me down. Who knew? And the funny thing is, I started to lose weight so quickly that the ladies who were still exercising and struggling to lose weight, they were like, okay, Michelle, you need to stop lying. How you exercising? You doing something. Don't tell me you ain't exercising. I'm like, I'm not. The doctor said I can't do anything on this leg. You lying. Something going on. Because how come you losing all this weight? And we sweating up ourselves and we ain't losing the weight. And it was simply because I changed the combination of foods that I was eating. Knowledge is power, y'all. A lot of us are battling a lot of things we don't have to be battling simply for a lack of knowledge. And once you get that knowledge and you apply it, you'd be amazed at, how quickly your body will turn around and be healthier. So that I went through before I was exposed to the mold, which was another chapter in my life. But before I was exposed to the mold, I had gotten back down to, size 8, and I was carrying on, just following that combination food plan. They call it the alkaline diet. And I was doing really well. And then I got exposed to mold. And that is another story altogether. That's another show altogether. So yeah, guys, you got to watch the combination of foods because your stomach secretes one type of enzyme, an alkaline enzyme to break down carbohydrates, and an acid enzyme to break down protein. And when you eat them together, they balance each other. They cancel each other out. And so this is why you have such a hard time digesting your foods when you eat that combination. Okay? So you have to pay attention to that. You will find that your body will function better when you make that change. I'm telling you, it will function better. You will have an easier time of digesting your food when you make that change. Let me look at a couple of your comments. So Agnes, hey Agnes, my former colleague, Agnes Ferguson says, good afternoon, great show, helping many of us how to eat properly. Thanks for joining me, Aggie. Bertha says, that's why they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Yes. Georgina says, hi, Michelle. Can you give a short list of breakfast proteins? Eggs, again, is an excellent source of protein. You got to be careful with the processed meats because the processed meats, again, typically speaking, have all the nitrates and nitrites and all that kind of stuff. So you want to be very, very careful of, unless you're willing to spend extra for stuff that doesn't have that added to it. And it is in the food store, but you're going to spend more for it. So healthy sources of meat, I think, are a good choice. Healthy lean sources. Oftentimes we think that because of our culture, you could only eat a certain food at a certain time of the day. Did you know that in certain parts of Europe, they eat eggs for dinner? Here we think that's only breakfast food. But in certain European countries, they eat eggs for dinner. So any good, clean source of protein can be eaten for breakfast. Okay? Don't think that because it's morning, you're only limited to this. Your stomach don't know what time it is. So you can eat these things that we wouldn't necessarily, think of eating for breakfast. But you want to start your day. I feel like eggs is a great example. Eggs is a perfect example of a good, healthy protein that you can start your day with. And how do you prepare your eggs? Not fried. So don't go around out and start frying the egg and say, Michelle said I should eat more eggs. I didn't say anything about frying them. Do not fry the eggs because once you've done that, you've just destroyed it. You want to go with soft-boiled or poached. Or if you must have scrambled eggs, just lightly scramble them in butter, not oil. Butter. Okay? Butter is better than oil. And you would have heard me talk about multiple times why oil is bad. And you're going to hear that again from Pharmacist Ben in this lecture. But yeah, eggs are a very, very good source of protein that you can start your day with. So just cut back on starting your day with the carbs. The pancakes may not be your best choice to start your day with. The cereal, may not be your best choice to start your day with. You want to start the day with protein because that protein is going to give you the energy that you need to battle your day. Okay? Let's see. Marissa says, the food combo deal is the same, Michelle, as eating fruit, as eating fresh fruit on an empty stomach. Okay. Good to know. Let's see. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good morning, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I think this is an awesome show.
Thank you.
You usually talk about relevant topics. This is extremely relevant because of the average Bahamian diet.
Mm-hmm.
And, we love our peace and rice, a chicken, and macaroni. You got to have two side orders. That's what it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of cooking oil that we usually use for rice, macaroni, for chicken, ribs, fish, whatever the case is. And also the seasoning, which is full of MSG and this and that. We're not really particular about the content of what we use to fry food, which you usually do, fry as opposed to bake and boil.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really concerned about that. We're concerned about the taste. And so we skip past what's nutritious for our body. And of course, gamers, we sweet about people. So, if it doesn't taste good, then you're not having it.
Yeah.
But another thing too, I commented earlier about pork, and we talked about white meat.
Mm-hmm.
Pork it takes longer to digest. I remember years ago reading about how soldiers in the middle part of the century, actually, and earlier, they would go to the mess hall and they would stuff their stomachs with pork, the chops, the ribs, this and that, because how long and it's very fatty meat. Of course, as you can imagine, coming from a pig, but it takes longer to digest. And pork chop is my word. That's one of the sweetest meat of the food. So
yeah, it tastes good.
It is good. It's like the most I sprinkled sugar on that particular meat right there.
Sugar?
Between that.
Sugar? Ew.
Between that and stuff, but ain't nothing good like a good pork chop and boy, look at when Bertha was swinging back in the day, but let's go far back. I don't want to make myself sound like a woodman, but let's talk about Tony Romas.
Yeah, the ribs were good. Well, now that you say that, there was sugar in the sauce. So you're right. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
brown
by
sugar.
itself,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
By itself, boy, any meat comes from the pig, boy. Look here,
but what damage that doing to you, boy? And like I say, I ain't sitting here acting like I perfect. I gotta cut it out of my diet altogether because I do.
I agree. Don't mind me.
I do enjoy.
I don't want to sound like I'm a vegan, nothing like that. Because boy, I'm a vegan too, and it's very difficult to remembering or trying to stay at that comfort narrow road of
Well, I always tell people,
healthy.
I did a consultation yesterday with a client who this was a follow-up consultation after she had been on her products for like a month or two. And what I do with my clients is I do a follow-up just to see what progress they're making. And her numbers had improved really well. But she admitted to me that the day before she ate fritters and she was still eating fried food and she was still eating gluten. And I said to her, she said, I cut back plenty, Michelle. I cut back plenty. I said, yeah, but that's like saying I'm a little bit pregnant. You can't cut back a little bit or plenty. Either you are or you aren't. And I said to her, if you had cut them out of your diet like you had been instructed, your numbers would have been even better. She said, I made progress. Yes, but it would have been even better. And my question to her was, because she said that after she ate the fritters, she still had, she experienced this joint pain and stuff. I think it was joint pain. So I said to her, either that or digestive pain. So I said to her, were those fritters so delicious that it was worth that pain? And that's the question we have to ask ourselves. Because I was eating gluten up until last year, March, even though I knew I shouldn't have been. But I was going through hell eating that. And after being off of it, I realized, my God, I feel so much better. So I'm at the point now where I'm scared to go eat gluten now because I don't want to go back to that pain. Ain't no bread or muffin or duff tastes that good for me to risk the kind of pain I was experiencing while I was eating that. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, pork chop tastes good, but is it worth what it's going to put your body through? Does it taste that good?
Boy, Michelle, I ain't gonna lie. I know where to find good food, and man, look here.
They're better alternatives. They're better alternatives.
Oh.
And I tell people all the time, I ain't missing nothing since I went gluten-free because I know how to prepare my foods, the foods that I love. I still make my stew fish. I still make my potato bread. And I ain't missing nothing because I just use a different kind of flour. I ain't missing nothing. I'm not being deprived. But yet, I feel great. So it ain't worth it. I ain't nothing taste that good. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Let me ask you this, and I agree completely. Let me ask you this. The struggle with a lot of people have that the thing is you want to enjoy your food. Otherwise, the Most High wouldn't have given us the taste bud that we have.
Right.
Now, the thing about it is that eating healthy, but still maintaining a certain level of taste.
Why you can't do both? They're not mutually exclusive.
No, but you gotta spend extra money in the food store. Honestly,
let me ask you something. You rather spend a couple extra dollars up front, or you rather spend that money on dialysis?
I understand.
Or heart disease.
However,
cancer.
However, for a lot of people, because a lot of people are listening. And the thing about it is, it's a struggle, trying to cancel out most of the pertinent bills every month. You know what I mean? So,
but if you damaging your body, you still gonna pay, and worse. So
that's true.
you gotta prioritize.
You would explain it to the woman who has 2 kids and she can only afford 2 and go on beef.
Yeah, but then when she get cancer and die, who can take care of them children? These are things you have to think about.
That's probably why corned beef is bad for you.
You ever see? Don't get me started on that, because we run here pushing vaccine, but we feeding people corned beef. But that's another show.
No. You know what? I was about to tell you if they guys go listen to the rest of the show, but on that note, let me add a little footnote.
I want you to make it quick though, because you're eating up my time, and I still got chapter 2 to get to.
I'm so sorry, but
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mike Yeardon, the former scientist at Pfizer, he released a statement, and he spoke about all vaccines. And this is right after, probably slightly before J&J put a pause. A pause was put on the J&J one dose vaccine. Now I can WhatsApp you
Johnson
the
& Johnson. I've seen it.
No, yeah, like I said, the scientist, the chief scientist who has developed the vaccines rather, and he's a chief scientist at Pfizer, is finally speaking out. His name is Mike Yeardon.
Okay.
And he has the disturbing news about all vaccines.
WhatsApp the information to me though, because you're eating up my time talking about vaccine, and that ain't what we're talking about today.
I'll do it right now.
So send me the information, okay?
Okay, right now.
All right. Thanks so much for calling. I appreciate your support.
No problem, Michelle. Leave that.
All right. Well, I was going to start chapter 2 in this portion of the show, but now we have another call. So let's take this call. I can start chapter 2 in the last half hour of the show. Good. Welcome to the GPS caller. Hello, caller. Why aren't I hearing this person? Hello, caller. Okay, caller. I don't know why we're not hearing you. You might want to call back because we can't hear you for some reason. So call back real quick, and I'll take your call before we go to the break, because I'm going to try now to fit everything in chapter 2 into this last half hour of the show. But let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Are you able to hear me now, Michelle?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Perfect. You mentioned eggs earlier, and I was relieved when I heard Ben, I think that's his name, right?
Ben Fuchs.
Talk about
Yes.
eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was relieved to hear that, because honestly, I had cut out eggs because I thought they were going to be bad for me.
Make sure it's organic eggs, though. Make sure it's eggs that came from a real chicken that was allowed to grow like chicken is allowed to grow. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Free-range
like my
chicken,
grandparents used to grow. Yeah.
Yes.
But what I'm curious to know, you mentioned how to prepare them. You mentioned poached and you mentioned soft boiled. What about hard boiled egg?
Well, the problem with hard boiled eggs is when you boil it too long, it changes the fats in the egg. It changes the molecular structure of the fats in the egg. So you don't want to boil it hard boiled. That means you've overcooked it. It should actually be soft boiled or poached.
Oh boy, I suppose I'll have to get used to eating soft boiled egg, because I really don't like that taste.
Yeah.
The soft boiled egg.
The hard boiled is you. What you would have done is change the structure of the fats when you do that.
Yeah.
And the whole point of eating eggs is for the healthy fats.
Right. And I suppose the same thing goes. The same thing goes to when it comes to boiling, as opposed to steeping bush medicine, right? Because you tend to weaken the the strength of those things when you boil them as opposed to steeping them?
I don't know how to answer that, to be quite honest with you, because tea can be very effective. So if you're going to make a tea, when you say steep it, what do you mean?
You boil the water.
And then you just let it sit in the
and
hot
then
water.
you put the stuff in the hot water rather than.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go with you on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like how you make tea.
Yeah. All right, Michelle. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. So it's 12:30. I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to try to fit all of chapter 2 into the last half hour of the show. Chapter 2 of this 7-book chapter is going to be looking at fats. You do not want to miss this. Stay with us, GPS, on Glory 93.9 FM.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art and contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Want to be pampered? Want to be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
At the Shirley Street Plaza, you'll find Le Petit Gourmet, a small cafe that's big on flavor. Handcrafted delights made with love will not only please your palate, but feed your soul. Call us at 394-1251. 8 to 12 minutes is all it takes for a burglar to rob your home or business. Security Systems International provides professional and affordable solutions for both. Call 396-5000 for your customized quote. Gwen's Alterations provides professional services for all your tailoring needs, including face masks to keep you safe and in style. A stitch in time saves 9. So call us today at 393-6227.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all. Schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. It's Wellness Wednesday, and we're talking about the 7 strategies for healthy living. And we're breaking this down into 7 chapters of a book. And we spent the first hour and a half of the show alone just talking about the first chapter, which was protein. But I want to switch gears now and go to chapter 2, which is fat. fats. Oh, this is going to be good. Before I do, let me read a couple of your comments because I don't think I will have an opportunity to do so later on. So this is Ginger. Hey, Ginger. Ginger says, Michelle, what if you don't want to lose weight but want to eat healthy? Listen, your body is so intelligent. The reason why I was able to lose weight when I made the switch is because I needed to lose weight. I had excess fat. So your body will shed the excess. But once you get to your the ideal weight for your body is smart. It's not going to just keep shedding. It will taper off at your ideal weight. Your body is so intelligent. So you don't have to worry about, if I do this, I'm going to lose too much weight. No, if you are at your ideal weight, you will just, be healthier by doing so. Let's see. Adame says, great show. A lot of time we fail to be obedient to the truth and are prisoners of our taste buds. Child, if you like it, let it kill you. We won't eat these things. And then when we get sick, oh, Lord, heal me. I know it's a good thing going in like mine, because I'd have been like, excuse me, where you was, or where I wasn't around when you was eating that pork chop. And now you talking about heal you? Thank God he ain't like mine, eh? Because all of us will be in trouble. Georgina says, thank you, my dear. What about boiled eggs and salad? That's fine. Again, you can combine protein with veggies. So that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let's see. Rochelle says, I love pork chop. Yeah, Rochelle, you might like it, but is it worth it? If it's doing damage to your body, that's the question. Okay, let me read one or two more. Bertha says, thank you, Michelle. When I don't feel like eating dinner, I just eat eggs. I thought this was unhealthy. I love eggs. Eggs is actually very good for you, but it just depends on how you prepare it. Okay, that's important. Let's see. One more. Georgina says, I'm loving this information. Thank you, Michelle, for providing positive alternatives. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, let's get to chapter 2. Prepare to have your minds blown, people. Chapter 2 is all about fats, and fats are probably the most misunderstood of all of our nutrients. Yes, fat is a nutrient. We are, in many cases, suffering from fat deficiencies. Even though obesity is off the charts, most people are suffering from a fat deficiency. And when you have a fat deficiency, it leads to many diseases, such as cancer and heart disease and diabetes and dementia. These are all manifestations of fat deficiencies. And yes, there are other contributing factors, but fat deficiencies is a major contributing factor to these problems. But now here's the tricky part. It's not just any fat, okay? Because not all fats are created equal. And when I talk about deficiencies in fat, I'm talking about deficiencies in the right kinds of fat, because there's good fat and there's bad fat. And unfortunately, we're getting plenty of the bad fat, but hardly any of the good fats in our diets, unless we are properly supplementing. There are fats that can actually heal the body, and there are fats that will actually kill your body. So not all fats are created equal. There are fats that are responsible for every healing process in your body. Fats are extremely important. And there are fats, alternatively, that are responsible for every degenerative process in your body. So you got to be eating the right kinds of fats, people. And if you look at the level of diseases that we're battling today, clearly we aren't. Clearly we are getting an abundance of the bad fats, but not so much the good fats. So it's important to understand in this discussion the difference between essential fats and unessential fats. Let's go to clip number 6.
Essential in nutrition means you better get it from your diet because your body can't make any of it. And if you don't get them, your body's going to be dysfunctional in one way or another. So that's a key distinction we want to make. Essential versus unessential. Now we have essential amino acids, essential proteins, that is proteins that you better get from your diet. And we also have essential fatty acids. That is fats that you have to get from your diet. And there's 2 kinds of essential fatty acids, and they're called omega-3 and omega-6. and you need them both, and they're not going to be found in very much food. So that tells you you have to supplement. You know, ideally, we should be able to get all the nutrients that we need from food. That's the way it's supposed to be. We should be able to eat a balanced diet and be able to have whole fruits and whole vegetables and whole grains and whole foods so that we get all our nutrients from our foods, but we can't do that anymore. Because of our 21st century lifestyle, because of our fast-paced lifestyle, because of food processing, we just can't get the nutrients that we need from food. And the most difficult nutrients to get from our food are the unstablest nutrients. There's some nutrients that are so active that they're very unstable. They react with light, they react with oxygen, they react with heat to disappear. And among the most unstablest of all the nutrients are the essential fatty acids. On the one hand, they're the most active of all nutrients. In fact, essential fatty acids are where a plant stores sunlight. You can think of essential fatty acids as a little battery, a sunlight battery. The sun is stored in essential fatty acids, and that accounts for their incredible high energy. Fats have twice as much energy as any other nutrient. Fats are little energy batteries for us. They're ways that the body can capture energy. In fact, they're so vital that the body has decided that it would store fats. It has a special place to store fats. Every single cell, you have 100 trillion cells, by the way, think about that. Every single one of your cells is wrapped around with a layer of fat because that's where the body stores the fat. So that when the body needs to have some fat, it can just pull it out of the cells. Some enzyme reactions happen, and some of that fat, essential fat, comes out of the cell membrane. And there's a whole serious mechanism for doing this. Why has the body evolved a mechanism for storing fats and being able to pull fats out of the cells? Well, lots of reasons, but the number one most important reason is that fats, essential fatty acids, are used to make something called master hormones. Now, hormones are special chemicals that turn systems on in the body. Master hormones are hormones that control the hormones. You know them as prostaglandins, perhaps. You've heard of prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are examples of master hormones. They're the hormones that turn on the hormones. They're the super hormones. And they're powerfully important for every single system in the body, especially the opening and closing systems. The blood vessel systems, the muscle systems, the nervous systems are all dependent on master hormones. And master hormones come directly from essential fatty acids, directly, which we're not getting enough of, which we don't get any of unless we're supplementing. Can you begin to see the picture here? Can you begin to see why we're not as healthy as we should be? Has anybody's doctor told them about essential fatty acids being turned into master hormones? This is a biochemical fact that's been known for 100 years. You can't get master hormones unless you're getting essential fatty acids. Eicosanoids is the fancy chemical name for master hormones. Essential fatty acids' relationship to eicosanoids accounts for essential fatty acids' critical nature in every single disease state that you can think of. Every single disease state you can think of is mediated by eicosanoids, which come from essential fatty acids. That's why they're so vital, and that's why everybody needs to be supplementing with them every single day.
So in addition to essential fatty acids 3 and 6, there's also 9. And Longevity has a great product called Ultimate EFAs, which give you omega-3, 6, and 9. And so the thing is, when you are getting sufficient good fats in your diet, oh my goodness, it's Doc Wallach always says that EFAs are like anti-wrinkle in a bottle because your body will not wrinkle as much, your skin will look better. It's just so many things that will be good for you. But when you are not getting getting sufficient essential fats in your body, there are some diseases that you could almost guarantee that you're going to end up, dealing with. And some of them you'd be shocked to know that there's a connection between these ailments and fats, good fats, essential fats. Some of those diseases are things like acne, ALS, alopecia, Alzheimer's, and dementia, asthma, blood clots, brittle hair, cardiovascular disease, cracked heels, dermatitis, extended menopause, eczema, fibromyalgia, cravings for fried foods, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, gallstones, growth retardation, infertility, low libido, low sperm count, miscarriages, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, PMS, psoriasis, kidney dysfunction, and split cuticles and heels, all because you're not getting sufficient healthy fats in your diet, sufficient essential fats and cholesterol as well. You can have a cholesterol deficiency as well, believe it or not. So it's really important for us to understand that you have to get adequate healthy fats in your diet. Healthy fats. Emphasis on healthy fats. Great source of a healthy fat, avocados. Great source of a healthy fat. Now, how do you know that you're not getting sufficient essential fatty acids in your diet, that you're not getting sufficient good fats in your diet? Well, you start craving fatty foods. You start craving fried foods. That is a key indicator that your body, again, remember now, your body is scanning, looking for what it needs. It's looking for these essential fats. It's not finding it. So it's telling you, go eat fatty foods. We need some essential fats. And you go out and you eat the fatty food because that's your body's way of telling you it's lacking something. So that's a key way to know that you are not getting sufficient essential fats in your diet. And I want you to understand something, and we're going to go to clip number 7 next, that not getting sufficient healthy fats in your diets is not just bad, it is dangerous. Let's go to clip number 7.
If you crave French fries, if you crave potato chips, if you crave pizza, if you crave ice cream, if you crave dairy products, these are all indications to you that you're deficient in essential fatty acids. French fries should never smell good to you. If you think French fries smell good, that's your body crying out for essential fatty acids. When you start to supplement with essential fatty acids, fatty foods won't taste good to you, because you will have met your body's requirement for fat. And that's the beautiful thing about fat and protein. You can't overeat good fat and good protein because your body will turn off. Nobody can binge on steak. Nobody can binge on eggs. Nobody can binge on whey protein because there are levels to how much your body can handle, and it won't taste good to you after that. When you've had enough good fats, fats won't taste good to you. The thought of fats will turn you off when you've met your body's requirement for good fats. The problem is we're feeding ourselves the bad fats, and our body doesn't know what to do with it. So of course it does what most kids do when the room's messy. It sticks everything under the bed, and it sticks it in our hearts, and it sticks in all the little nooks and crannies, and that's what happens with fats. They get stuck into the little nooks and crannies in our bodies. But the good fats can get used by the body. That's why good fats are actually a weight loss tool, because good fats get burned for energy. Good fats get stored in cell membranes to make new tissue, to make new cells. Bad fats get turned into the kind of fat that stays in your heart or stays in your legs or stays in your belly. The good fats can get used. The good fats can get burnt for energy. And the good fats fill you up. In fact, if you're really hungry, do a little swig of good fats, essential fatty acid fats. It'll kill your appetite. It's one of the best weight loss tools that there is, good fats. Nobody should ever be on a low-fat diet. And a low-fat diet is one of the most unhealthy diets that you can be on. A low-fat diet keeps your body from being able to absorb fat-soluble nutrients. A low-fat diet deprives your body of an essential source of energy because fats have twice as much energy as any other nutrients. People on low-fat diets get very depressed. Why? Because our brain is made up of fat. Everybody in this room is a fathead. Everybody in this room has a brain that's made up of 60% fat, and one of the first things that happens when you're on a low-fat diet is you get sluggish and you get tired because your brain doesn't have energy to work with. Now everybody knows about glucose for the brain and glucose for energy. Glucose gives us quick energy, but fats give us sustained, long-burning energy, long-acting energy. That's the way the body likes to work. It doesn't want to have quick, fiery energy. It wants to have long, slow-acting energy. And that's what fats do. They provide the body with long, slow-acting energy.
So the next time somebody calls you a fathead, don't take offense. But there is definitely a connection between good, healthy fats and the brain and brain function. Matter of fact, the brain is mostly made up, like he said, of fat. And the studies have shown that the kindest gift that a mother can give her baby when the baby's in the womb is to be supplementing with EFAs. Because studies have shown that the baby will be smarter. It affects the brain health of the baby. Even after the baby is born, if the mother is supplementing on good quality EFAs and is breastfeeding her child, the child will be smarter. You think we got a D average because we ain't getting sufficient EFAs in our diet? Things that make you go, Studies have shown that baby has a better brain when mother is supplementing with EFAs. So if you're pregnant, make sure you're getting adequate EFAs in your diet. If you're breastfeeding, make sure you're supplementing with EFAs to give that baby a fighting chance. EFAs is also an important tool for lubricating the body. And any issues of lubrication, such as arthritis, can definitely be helped by supplementing with EFAs. And when circulation gets sticky, because of bad fats, then EFAs can actually come to the rescue to liquefy the fat. So EFAs are one of the most important tools for people who have heart disease. If you have heart disease, get on some essential fatty acids. And much more important to protect the heart than any other drug that you can, any other pharmaceutical drug. I'm sorry, EFAs. That's the way to go. And so remember that there are 3 varieties. There's essential fatty acid 3, 6, and 9. And Longevity has a great supplement that will give you all 3. So here is a short clip about the various varieties of essential fatty acids. Clip number 8.
Omega-3 is found in fish and in flax and in hemp seed. Those are the 3 main sources of omega-3. It's very difficult to get omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fats open things up. Open up blood vessels, for example. They're a relaxing fat, omega-3s. The other fat that's essential is called omega-6. Omega-6 comes from sunflower and safflower and soy, sesame, corn, many sources of omega-6. Much more difficult to get omega-3. So if you're going to supplement with a fatty acid, a lot of people will say, well, don't worry about your omega-6s because you get plenty of omega-6s. Just take your omega-3s. The problem with that is, even though theoretically we're supposed to get enough omega-6s, we don't because we cook our fats. Not only that, but because fats are so unstable, as soon as the light hits the fat, it destroys the essential fatty acid. Do you ever wonder why all those oils that you get at the supermarket, those delicious oils, come in a clear bottle? Okay, how can they come in a clear bottle if fats are so unstable? Well, that's because the oil manufacturers take all the good stuff out, and all we're left with is the carcass. And that's what the oils are. They're just the carcass. They're the emptiness. There's nothing in there to go unstable. That's why they can be in a clear bottle. You never want your fats in a clear bottle if they're going to be filled with nutrients, because light is the enemy of essential fatty acids. Light and heat are the 2 enemies of EFAs, essential fatty acids. That's why you don't want to cook with your essential fatty acids either. You want to put your essential fatty acids on your food raw. And remember, fats need to be mixed with proteins because they go together. Remember, protein carries fat around. So the best place to put your fat is on your hard-boiled eggs or on your eggs or on your protein. In your smoothie with whey, put your essential fatty acids because fats get shuttled around the body with protein. Just like we said earlier, you don't want carbohydrates with protein. You do want fats with protein. Food combining becomes an important healthcare strategy.
So this morning, after I heard that last night, I took 2 of my 3 recommended EFA capsules with my breakfast of protein this morning. I said, okay, Ben, thanks for that bit of information. You want to understand that when you see things like dry skin, that's a sign that you are not getting sufficient healthy fats in your diet. And here's one that's important for you ladies, menstrual cramps. Menstrual cramps will go away if you are adequately supplementing with essential fats 3, 6, and 9. And that's because menstrual cramps are mediated by master hormones. And if you are not getting master hormones, then your muscles and blood vessels don't open and close appropriately. And that's what a cramp is. And so you want to supplement with EFAs to get rid of menstrual cramps. Now, when you eat food, you have to understand how the body stores fat, and I'm just going to try to squeeze in this last one. Your body will take the food and break it apart and then store it in little pieces and rearrange it as needed. That's how it ideally should happen. But that's what it does with all nutrients except fat. Let's play that final clip.
When you eat a fat, it goes right into your blood, and your body tries to work with that fat as it is. And that means it tries to make cells out of the kind of fats that we're eating. That's why most of us are walking around with Hershey bar cells and pizza pie cells and all the kind of cells that are sticky and hard and don't make for good health. When the body tries to make a cell with a sticky, hard fat, you get a sticky, hard cell. And a sticky, hard cell will not let nutrients in. An essential fatty acid-based cell is flexible. It flows. Nutrients can flow in and out appropriately. One of the main reasons we're so sick is because the cells that we're making can't absorb nutrients like they're supposed to because we're not building them out of the right fats. So that's chapter 2, fats, protein and fats. Just with these 2 chapters, by the way, you already know more than most of your doctors about nutrition.
Yeah. So remember now, fats, healthy fats, essential fatty acids are not the same as oil. You heard him talk about the problem with oil. Oil is the carcass. That's what's left. And as you know, if you've been listening to this show, that the problem with oil in a bottle is it becomes oxidized because of that little air bubble in the bottle. And as long as that air bubble is in that bottle, it is oxidizing the oil. And then when that gets into your body, it causes inflammation. And then when you fry it, forget about it. It's all over then. Because that really oxidizes the oil and that causes inflammation. And inflammation breaks things in your body. So when we're talking about fat, we're talking about essential fatty acids, omega-3, 6, and 9. Okay? That's what you want to go for. The healthy fats. Your body needs healthy fats. And if you give your body the healthy fats it needs, I'm telling you, many of the ailments that you're dealing with, your body will be able to handle it. So that's just 2 chapters, y'all. It's 7 chapters in total. That's just the first 2. And I had to rush through chapter 2 because, we got a couple of calls that ran a little long. I don't want you to miss the next couple of shows, y'all, because the information that you're going to receive from this lecture is mind-blowing. I don't care if I'm the lone voice crying out in the wilderness. I am going to say repeatedly that we need to be focusing on getting our people healthier. That is how we beat COVID-19 or diabetes or cancer or heart disease or kidney failure. I could go on. Get your people healthier. That is the solution. And once we do that, then we ain't got to worry about all them other non-communicable diseases. We don't have to worry about having a comorbidity, and that's why I'm scared of COVID and I got to go run to get a vaccine. Get healthier. Let's have that conversation equally. Get healthier. That's the bottom line. And, I might be the only one crying in the wilderness, but it is what it is. That's what I believe I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't know if anybody listening, but at least you all here. Like and share this show. Like and share this show. People need this knowledge, people. I get so grieved every time I hear about somebody dying, I say unnecessarily, from type 2 diabetes, from strokes, it's like, come on, man. This is so unnecessary. But my people perish for a lack of knowledge. That's what the word of God tells you. I just trying to give y'all some knowledge, people. What y'all do with it, that on y'all. I putting it out there. What you do with it, at least I put it out there. It's up to you. I ain't trying to force nobody to do nothing, but at least I'm doing my part by giving you the information that you need to live a healthier life. Part 2 next week, Wednesday. Do not miss it. I don't know how much of it we're going to be able to cover in the one show, but I'm going to try to get through at least 2 of the chapters. And the other 2 chapters will be, I'm just scrolling up here to see what they will be. I don't see it. So sorry. I can't tell you what the other 2 chapters will be. But know that it's going to be good, whatever it is. So make sure that you do not miss the next show next week, Wednesday. That's my time, y'all. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining me on this Wellness Wednesday. I really hope you got something out of this. If you know anybody who's battling any kind of chronic disease, please like and share the show. Let people know that the information is available to them so that we can get our nation healthier. I'm out of here, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.